Buenos dias. Yes. Mr. President, Madam First Lady, I'm honored to be here with you today. And thank you for welcoming me to your country once again. And I'd like to wish you, Mr. President, and to all the fathers who are here today, a very happy Father's Day. This is a day to celebrate the important role, really, that fathers play in their lives of their sons and their daughters. And I see several small children down here. You know, for your dads to be there for you, to provide for you, and to help you get every shot at success. So, and Madam First Lady, it's so nice to be with you again. You know, you're very lucky to have her, such a warm and friendly First Lady. We were in Paris a week ago, and for the Teach Her initiative, and so I'm so thrilled to be here and to see you again today. Thank you. I'm also pleased to be joined by Ambassador Haney and his family, and so we're so grateful for your service in Costa Rica. And thank you, Valeria. Where are you? Behind? She's hiding. She's hiding for that kind introduction. Let's give Valeria another round of applause, please. And I have to say, thank you to all the girls for being here. I really appreciate it. I know this is a Sunday, not a school day for you. I'm a teacher, so I know you know, it's hard to come back to school on a weekend and on your Father's Day. So I love seeing your programs and what you were doing, and truly, you are truly inspiring young women. So thank you for coming and being with us today. So as I said, as a teacher, one of my favorite things to do as I travel around the world is to meet with students and young people who are furthering their education and whose future is growing brighter. And I certainly can see it in those of you who are young scientists, and what you're doing is so interesting. And that's what's happening to exactly all of you, because of the education that you're receiving here, you know, you are just going up. You have nowhere to go but up. You're on this upward trajectory in your life. And I'm so excited for all of you. So on my trip to Central and South America over the next few days, education is really going to be one of my major focuses. And I'll emphasize my country's commitment to making sure that young girls around the world have the opportunity to go to school and get the education they need to be whoever they aspire to be. Because when young women and girls are included, they expand our economies, they enrich our communities, and our countries are better off for it. And it's really that simple. So I look forward in my travels to meeting with students and teachers like all of you here today in Peru and Argentina and Panama. And in each of these countries, I'm also going to meet with government leaders and women entrepreneurs and civil society partners. And we're going to discuss how to level the playing field to ensure that our daughters, you young girls, have the same opportunities in life that our sons have had. Because the success of a nation is measured by the success of its women. Don't you find that to be true? And this region is expanding opportunity and shared prosperity. Of the Western Hemisphere, you mentioned your visit by President Obama, and this is what he said. We're not just nations, but we're also neighbors. Millions of people in the United States are bound to the Americas through ties of commerce and family, end quote. So from day one of our administration, President Obama and my husband Joe, the Vice President, have made improving relationships in the Western Hemisphere based upon mutual respect and equal partnerships a foreign policy priority. It was time to turn a page on the past and begin a new chapter. Conflicts remain. Crisis and important issues will need to be addressed. But together, our region is moving forward to a more prosperous life. We all have a stake in the success of our nations, a stake in the success of our corner of the world. As a lifelong educator, I believe that education is one of those keys to securing success. You, all the students here today, are our hope for the future. And it's our responsibility to make sure that girls and boys equally have the opportunity to grow and to learn. Yet, too many girls don't have that opportunity. They're denied their full potential. Over 62 million girls around the world are not even in school. That's hard to imagine, isn't it? Half of them are adolescents. They're your age. They're deprived of the opportunity to learn just because they're girls. It's not that the girls don't want to go to school. They know that an education is the foundation to build a better life for themselves and for their families. That's why the Obama-Biden administration launched Let Girls Learn. It's an initiative to help girls all around the world attain a quality education that empowers them, lifts them up, and transforms their communities, just like you girls are doing. As part of Let Girls Learn, the Peace Corps here in Costa Rica will also sponsor a camp for students to learn more about science, technology, engineering, and math, STEM, which all of you are studying, later this year to connect with mentors and to gain confidence and skills that will help them in all these fields. Costa Rica is a leader in Latin America in ensuring that women and girls have access to a quality education and equal opportunity. Organizations like Women in Science and Technology, also known as Mente, and I know I met women here, young girls here. Where are the girls from Mente? Ah, right here. Yes, we should clap for them. Encouraging girls to study and work in STEM fields, giving them a chance to experiment with robots and create their own apps. So good luck with that. I just met one female Mente participant named May, and May suffered from depression and dropped out of school. But she continued to attend the Mente camp every Saturday to work on her own app that helps students also struggling with depression. Not only was May's app selected for development, but she returned to school in January and is now considering a career in engineering. I've been inspired by so many girls just like May, who I've met throughout my travels around the world in Africa, Asia, and the Middle East, who have overcome significant obstacles in life to go to school and to get an education. Together, by removing some of these obstacles, we are investing not only in them, but in our shared future. So we're going to keep pushing until all children, girls and boys, have pathways to success and the chance to go as far as their dreams will take them. As I mentioned earlier, just last week, I joined your First Lady at UNESCO in Paris to launch the Teach Her STEAM initiative, a global public-private partnership to close the gender gap for girls interested in STEM and art design education and careers. This program will train teachers to develop STEM and art and design courses, create after-school programs, and inspire all students to realize their full potential. It will also provide girls with employable skills and give them access to successful women leaders as mentors. Your country, which is setting the standard in Latin America in supporting girls interested in STEAM, will host the first ever Teach Her training session in our region later this year. So thank you to the First Lady for your commitment to this cause. It means so much to so many young girls in your area and throughout the country. And thank you, President Solis, for taking an active role for fighting for women and girls here in Costa Rica and at the United Nations. It's going to take all of us, educators and community leaders, women and men, boys and girls, to make progress for gender equality. Our administration also started an initiative 5 years ago called 100,000 Strong in the Americas. The idea is simple. By the end of this decade, we want 100,000 students from the Americas to study in the United States. And we want 100,000 students from the United States to study abroad in the Americas. Maybe some of you are interested. It's an exchange of ideas and cultures that will enrich the lives on both sides, and it will bring our countries closer together. An amazing example from this program is a student named Lourdes, who grew up in Argentina, where there's a high indigenous population. Today, she studies geology at the National University of Tucumán. As part of the 100,000 Strong program, Lourdes was able to explore hundreds of miles of the Navajo Nation in Arizona in the United States. Now she's comparing the sustainable energy practices of indigenous communities in northern Argentina and northern Arizona. The United States and Argentina will certainly benefit from Lourdes' work. That's the kind of connection and innovation that this program is bringing to our students, our countries, and our region. We're also working together to cultivate the next generation of women leaders and business owners. In 2012, our administration launched the Women's Entrepreneur in the Americas initiative. We're bringing together governments, companies, civil society partners, and individual entrepreneurs to break down barriers women face when starting their businesses to give them the tools they need to grow their business. In Peru, for example, this initiative has connected entrepreneurs to supply chains. One entrepreneur who sold jewelry now has a relationship with a major retailer. Today, she's partnering with other women entrepreneurs to expand their business and sell other products. And I saw a similar project last year when I traveled to Guatemala. Those women, their determination, truly moved me, just like what I saw with you girls and your science projects. It's clear that when women are given the opportunity, not only do they succeed, but they also mentor and empower other women to do the same. It's only when women have the freedom to fully participate in the economy that we will truly achieve prosperity. And these partnerships are making a real difference for thousands of women and girls in your community, in your country, and in the lives of hundreds and thousands more women and girls throughout the Western Hemisphere. On my trip, we'll also discuss a challenge that no woman should have to face, a challenge that exists in Central and South America, as well as in the United States. Gender-based violence is a problem that no country has solved. But the fact is that these forms of violence, whether it's violence at home or in the community, holds back families, countries, and economies. That's why years ago, my husband Joe, the Vice President, wrote the International Violence Against Women Act, which would cut off foreign aid and assistance to those countries that engage in practices that are simply inhumane. As Joe said, violence against women is a stain on the moral character of a society. and it is a stain on the conscience of a country, end quote. It is an issue of basic human rights, and we are committed to tackling this challenge so that everyone, women and men, is safe and able to fully participate in society. Not only is it good for our country when our neighbors are secure and successful, it's in our shared interest, but because you deserve nothing less. My husband often says that we want to work with Latin America to build a hemisphere that is democratic, middle class, and secure. A hemisphere where the rights of citizens are fully respected and elections meet the highest test of transparency and accountability, including welcoming international observers. A hemisphere where men and women can harness the power of entrepreneurship and education to provide for themselves and their families. A hemisphere where the streets are safe, communities are free from fear, and businesses can operate without the threat of crime and violence. And empowering young girls and women is vital to the economic, political, and cultural success of every country. The opportunities in our hemisphere for all of you here today are real. And I want you to know that the United States is committed to continuing our working together to achieve them. So thank you so much for welcoming me here today. You are all my inspiration. Muchas gracias. Thank you.